Hey everyone, welcome back to Rugged DIY. I'm Steve Mikulich. Today we are going to be working on assembling the closet organizer that we've been working on over the last few weeks. I'm going to start with the upper shelf because what I want to do is fit it into place and figure out where the studs are in the wall so that I can pre-drill the holes into these pieces, which are going to be kind of the load-bearing pieces. And I want to be able to get at least a couple of connection points in these into some studs. I'm not going to worry about perfectly spacing them because I don't really care about that as much, but I would like to have at least 2 connection points in a stud, and then if I need to add another one that is just a wall anchor, then I'll do that. And I did buy some of the more premium wall hangers, the more premium wall anchors that are capable of holding up to like 250 pounds or something like that. So I think between 2 studs and a wall anchor, that should be sufficient for holding up this closet organizer. And I am going to have an additional piece which will be in between the shelving unit that will also anchor the entire unit, which will add sufficient support to hold the whole thing together. So we're going to focus on that first. We're going to go ahead and get this top piece assembled and get these connection points assembled onto the top unit. And then once we figure out exactly where those studs are, we'll drill these holes, assemble the whole thing, and then we'll go ahead and hang it up, and we'll be done with the closet organizer portion at that point. And then after that, we'll move on to the rest of the project on the next video. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And as usual, I will focus on the project, and then if I need to speak up and explain anything along the way, then I'll go ahead and do so. All right, you want to give me a hand? What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this piece. This piece is kind of bowed, so it kind of bows in this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on this end. I'm going to tap it in from the back so that as it goes into place, that it will, you hold this, all right? So as it goes into place, it'll straighten itself out as it goes in. So we're just going to move slowly. You come hold this side. I'll stand over here so it doesn't tip, so you can see. Here, pick it up over there. Move it. Right there. You're gonna have to secure one side and then compress down the other side to secure that side because it's crooked. So we'll just start at this end and work our way down. Secure this one first. Not either. Come on, man. Come on then. There we go. There we go. Okay. Well, that's not dandy. Why is that short? It didn't make any darn sense. This should come all the way back. This piece was cut from one of these pieces, so it should have been the same. Don't know why it's not. That is frustrating. What do you think we should do? Do you think we should redo this one? Don't worry about it? Okay. Huh? Is what okay? Yeah, the front's even. But it should have been. I cut that piece from the same type of wood that I used on the rest of it. It shouldn't have been short. Huh? Now you're not gonna, yeah, be careful. You're not gonna wanna put your arm on that side, okay? You're gonna go tight to the wall. Tight to the wall and back. Go. Watch your hand. Okay, and bring it back. Okay. So I don't know. I think I want to recut this piece. See how big the gap is over here now? I don't know why that piece didn't cut right. I think I want to recut that piece. I don't like that. I don't like that very much. All right, hold tight. We'll take it back to the wall, all the way back. All right. Keep it tight to the wall. This is the way we got to get it in and out. Okay. All right. All right, hold. Let's flip it over and stand it up. You're gonna stand it up on its head. Stand it up. Okay, we've got the majority of the closet organizer assembled now. And before I hang everything inside the closet, what I wanted to do was go ahead and drill the holes for all of the pins that will be used to stack the shelves and for the movable shelves. And I'm also going to drill holes for the rods. So I'm going to have a rod at the bottom and a rod at the top, and I'm going to have holes for the rods so you can move the rod up and down and position the rods, you know, kind of however you want. So what I've got here is a jig, and all you do is you line up the jig, you know, wherever you want your starting position to be, and you drill your first hole in, and your jig will go in, and I'll show you here, just as deep as the pin that you want to sit inside of that hole. And so you drill the first hole in, and then you set this pin inside there, and this kind of holds it for you in place. That way you aren't guessing about your location. So you drill your first hole, you stick the pin in, and then you can drill all of your other holes based on the location of that pin. So then it keeps it all nice and uniform as you go all the way down. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to start measuring and figuring out exactly where I want to start, so that I start from the same place on all of them and end up with the exact same measurement all the way across. That way when my shelves are sitting in there on the pins, that they'll sit nice and level. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll try to catch some footage of drilling some of these holes so you can see what that looks like. All right, so now that you can see, I've got a single hole right here, and I didn't want to bring it all the way down here because I'm never going to have a shelf that's going to be within this gap. So I'm just going to take this. You can see it's got a tapered end, just like one of your shelf pins. Stick it on there. All right, slide that right over top. All right, nice and even. You don't necessarily need to have a clamp. I am just using one because I want to make sure I don't have too much movement. Try to keep it as nice as possible. Use your best judgment. Now when I'm drilling in these holes, I'm purposefully not trying to push too hard in order to get that initial cut, because when I did the first closet organizer in the other bedroom, I really messed up a lot of these holes. They were really kind of torn up because I was trying to push the drill in too hard. You can see here, these are much nicer, much finer finish. I mean, obviously you don't know what the other one looks like, so you have nothing to compare it to. But you can see that these are nicely cut. That's because I'm starting the drill before I actually press it in, and just adding light pressure as I'm having that drill bit sink into these holes. That way I'm not getting a lot of tearing on all of these holes. So it's a much nicer finish. You know, learn from your mistakes, right? I made a lot of mistakes when I did the first bedroom renovation. And so this has gone a lot smoother. You know, it's not that this whole thing has gone off without any sort of problems. I've made mistakes. You just saw in this video that for some reason, this piece of wood that I cut was short. I don't know why. It was from the same stock of wood that I bought. I guess I should have, you know, compared it. Rookie mistake, I guess, but yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff happens. So, I mean, I could, you know, take this off and replace it with another piece, or I could just stick a little piece of trim back here at a later date. But I guess my point being that, you know, mistakes are going to happen, you know, but those are all, you know, learning opportunities. Every time you make a mistake, it's an opportunity to learn from what you did and do it better. All right, I'm going to continue on drilling the holes in this. I don't think that it'd be really useful to show drilling the same thing over and over again. I think you got the gist of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get all this drilled, and then I'll pick back up once I'm ready to go ahead and hang it. So see you in just a minute. All right, you can't have your arm back there, okay? All right, all the way up against the wall. Okay. Okay. All right, squeeze it over. Looks good. Oh yeah. Now off camera, earlier this week, I cut down this shelf a little bit, just a little bit shorter by about 1.5 inches so that I could squeeze it in up against the wall and then turn it in and then bring it back up against this wall. And so since I did that, the measurement here is probably going to be a little bit off for this rod. So I'm probably going to have to, yeah, got to cut it just slightly. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to kind of figure out the measurement here, take this out, cut these rods down, hang these rods, and then we're done for today. I still need to cut all of the shelves for this stackable shelf here. What I'm going to do with those is I'm actually going to cut those and stain those. I'm going to do a dark kind of like walnut stain because for shelving, I didn't want to use a latex paint. That way, if stuff was sitting on top of it, gets humid upstairs or something, you got latex paint, it's going to get a little bit tacky. Whereas if I do a dark wood stain, it's not going to have that same sort of issue. And the stain is going to be the same color as all of my hardwood flooring that's going to be throughout the rest of the house, and it kind of matches the dark blades of the fans that I put inside the room. And I've also got a wooden shelf slash desk that is going to match that, and all of the furniture inside of the room is going to be kind of a walnut or espresso kind of wood, so that'll kind of still go with the rest of the decor. What I really like, I like these rods because they fit right inside of those holes that I just drilled. So all of these are kind of adjustable, which is really nice. That way, if somebody wants to move that rod up or down, or whatever, they have options now of where they can stick that rod. So that is pretty good. I got to do a little bit of touch-up paint. Putting all this together, got a little bit of nicks here and there, but nothing too bad. Not serious. It all turned out pretty darn good, I think. So that's kind of where it's got to be right there. I have to do a measurement, figure out that distance, and then I'll cut both of these to match. You want to hold it just right up. What I want you to do is just hold it right up against there, because I'm going to get a measurement from there right over to here. So that looks like 46. You got it right up tight? Looks like 46.5 inches, I think. I'll come off just slightly from that, just a little bit smaller than 46.5. That way, I've got a little bit of movement. It's not too tight. Okay, 46.5. Actually, let's do that one more time. Just before I write this all down, make sure that I'm exact. Yes, 46.5. You got it right up against there? You got it right up against it? All right, got them cut the length. Let's test it out, make sure we're good. Hopefully I wasn't too aggressive. Boom, fits perfectly. Very exciting. All right, all coming together now. Almost done with this project. Hanging the hinge and the French doors won't be too difficult. Not too hard. Let's see. Let me stick this one right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can always adjust these later. You got the love. There we go. All right, well, that is essentially the closet organizer that I've been trying to work on these last few weeks. Like I said, need a little bit of touch-up paint here and there just to gloss it over and touch up some of the nicks and bruises that I did in assembling it. But it looks pretty good. It's nice and sturdy. It's solid in there. It's got the adjustability for the the hangers, and I'll have adjustability for shelves. So I'll cut all those shelves at a later date, stain them, and place those in. But you know, something like this is so convenient because it gives you more versatility. And I saved a lot of money doing it myself rather than buying the sets, because I priced out all the different options that they had for closet organizers. And just for the size of my closet and for the awkward, you know, angles of the ceiling, I couldn't find anything that was exactly what I wanted and couldn't maximize the use of my space. So I just thought, well, I'll just build my own. And it really wasn't very difficult. You know, a couple days of work. You know, if I had just focused on it for a whole weekend without doing anything else, I probably could have knocked this out on a Saturday and a Sunday and been done with it. But spreading it out gave me more content and more ability to, you know, take my time and share it with all of you. But, you know, if you know, want to do something like this, just take the leap and do it. You know, don't be scared. If you make a mistake, so what? Get rid of it, start over, and fix it, do better the next time. But, you know, saved myself a lot of money, have a lot more functionality out of this closet. It's gonna be great for 2 children in here now, because I've got a rack for each child now. They're gonna be able to share shelving instead of just having a single shelf with a single rod. You know, my younger daughter will have the reach of the lower rung as she gets older, or if they need to adjust them, then they can. My older daughter, you know, will have the top rung that will be easily accessible for her. You know, open up all the space down below. So pretty satisfied with it. And another thing I had thought about is maybe building another shelf above here, you know, maybe with some cubbies and things like that, but you know, that could be easily added on. And you know, so anyway, a lot of fun building it. Not really too challenging. You know, it's a pretty simple build too. It's not a real complex construction. You know, just some pine, and you know, like I said, on this one I had to do oak on these pieces here, which actually, I mean, as their weight or load-bearing pieces, probably not a bad idea anyway, since oak is a little bit stronger than the pine. So I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope that it was informative and inspirational. I hope that you guys will go out and attack all the projects that you've had in mind. It looks like we're gonna have a little bit more time in our homes due to the pending or looming lockdowns. So I hope that you're all staying sane out there, that you're finding projects that will, you know, excite you and keep your time filled, so that you're not, you know, getting too stir crazy. But I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you'll like the video and that you'll share it. The more likes and subscriptions that I get, the more my videos get prioritized. So I do appreciate that. I have been building subscribers slowly. And I do appreciate every one of you that subscribes, and I hope that you're enjoying my content. If you have any suggestions, anything that you'd like to see, you know, let me know. If there's any little odds and ends around the home that you'd like to see. I just replaced all of my my fire alarms, which after installing them, I was like, well, shoot, maybe I should have done some instructional videos on those. But if you'd like to see videos like that, let me know. I mean, I'd be happy to approach them or attack them if it's something that I need to get done, or if it's something that would be useful to you guys. So thanks for coming, and I hope to see you in the next video.